Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host Nika, and today in this episode, we are going to be discussing the topic of friendship. In particular, I'd like to explain the role of friendship in my life and also focus on identifying the signs of real friendship. So, let's get started. First of all, I'd like to mention that I've recently been discussing this topic with my students at speaking clubs. And the first question I asked them was the following: is it possible to live without friends at all? And I was surprised because the answers varied. Some members of the speaking club were saying that it's impossible to live without friends and they cannot imagine such a situation in their lives. On the other hand, some mentioned that friendship actually requires a lot of free time. And unfortunately, they don't have enough time, so that's why they have no friends. In some cases, their partners or spouses are their best friends because they know everything about their lives, because they share all happy and sad moments together and have many common interests. So, the first sign of real friendship that I would like to mention is definitely making time for your friends. Because nowadays, all of us are so busy with jobs, daily duties, personal stuff, and so on. And we need to make an extra effort to be able to communicate with our friends. And in my opinion, it's like with romantic relationships, you need to invest your time and energy to make it work. Otherwise, over time, after like a couple of years, you may grow apart and your connection will not be as deep anymore. A couple of friends of mine live in different countries and cities far away from me. And with some of them, I try to catch up via video or audio messages on Telegram every week. And I actually love this method of communication because in case of audios, my friends can record longer messages where they share all their feelings and emotions. And with a tone of voice, it's easier for me to understand what they really feel comparing to simple text messages. And at the same time, I can listen to these audios when I have enough time to respond. And this way, we don't need to arrange a time for a phone call during busy days or weeks, and we can use audios to connect and stay updated. One friend of mine currently lives in the US, and it's really challenging for us to have calls because she has evenings when I'm sleeping and during her daytime I'm working. That's why we send each other video messages on Telegram. But the most important rule of video messages is that we don't pose for them. We record them the way we are, sometimes while, eating, going somewhere, wearing sheet masks, while doing shopping, and so on. And I would say that it's a very unifying practice because with those funny and sometimes ridiculous videos, we can show that we trust each other and we are close enough and we can be ourselves with them. And I would say that the second sign of real friendship for me is when you are not afraid to be yourself with those people and to look funny or maybe sometimes stupid or weak and vulnerable, but you know that no one will ever judge you. I try to hang out with my friends who live in Gdańsk at least once a week. We often gather at someone's home, enjoy drinking wine and eating pizza and watching movies. Or we might head out to the city center to grab coffee and take a stroll. And I believe that with friends who live in the same city, it's fantastic to share common hobbies, because those common activities, they allow us to spend extra time together and share some emotions. For instance, one of my friends and I attend dance classes once a week, and thanks to this, we have inside jokes about our failures and etc. And we also have additional conversational topics. And another friend and I are really passionate about discussing social media. So she helps me record videos for Instagram Reels, and we also from time to time brainstorm ideas together. So I would say that this practice also helps us stay connected. So, while it's not a necessity, I believe it's a significant advantage when you share common hobbies and interests with your friends. The next sign of real friendship that I have identified for myself is the following: true friends applaud your success. I believe that sometimes it's much easier to support someone in difficult times or offer sympathy and help than to be happy when a person achieves success or earns a significant amount of money or reaches his goals and acquires expensive items like car or house and etc. And I've observed, unfortunately, that some people struggle with this aspect of life's challenges. They may start feeling jealous or guilty or threatened by your accomplishments. However, only genuine friends, only true friends will sincerely share your happiness, and they will celebrate it with you, and they will honestly affirm that you deserve it. All of my friends are people who inspire and motivate me in different areas and aspects. For instance, one of my friends always keeps her home clean and tidy. And every time I visit her, I know that her belongings will be in their proper places. The place will smell nice, and I will notice also some new home decorations that she has recently purchased to create a cozy and welcoming atmosphere. So she inspires me to take care of my home. Another friend of mine aspires to be a singer, and it's a crazy, challenging, and competitive field. And despite all those difficulties, every single day she tries to pursue her dream by taking, persistent actions that bring her closer to her goal. And every time I look at her, I truly admire her determination and goal-oriented character. One more friend of mine is almost 50 years old, but anyway, she starts her day with morning exercises. In addition to that, she maintains a healthy diet and even plays tennis a couple of times a week. And I am talking right now about my mom. My mom is someone who knows everything about my life, my feelings, my emotions, my challenges, and she always supports me and I support her at the same time. And occasionally we travel together and we can talk for hours discussing business, family relationships, dreams, and I don't know, girly stuff. And I understand that it's relatively rare for people to describe their parents as their best friends, but I consider myself incredibly lucky in this case because, yeah, my mom is my best friend. Guys, I actually think that it's possible to live without friends, but life with friends becomes much more vibrant and vivid and full of funny and unforgettable moments. And I wish for all of you to be surrounded by honest, loyal, and trustworthy people, those who are your soulmates and who can stand by your side in both good and bad times. After listening to this podcast, reach out to your friends, send them a text message, or call them, or plan a get together because, as we know, communication is the key. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you won't miss the upcoming episodes. And also be sure to share this podcast with your friends who are also currently learning English. Thank you so much for staying with me today. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you again next week. Keep in touch. Bye bye.